I'd like to tell you a tale of two cities. No, not the famous story by Charles Dickens where the hero gets his head cut off. This is a tale of two Florida cities. Both cities are very similar in many important ways. They share Florida's delightful climate and beauty, and both offer a wide range of attractions for the domestic and international visitor. Things like sports and beaches and shopping. Modern hotels and restaurants serving meals that appeal to almost every taste. Convenient transportation to and from just about anywhere in the United States and the entire world. Both cities are very dependent on tourism for their economic well-being. But beneath the surface, the differences between these two cities are great. In the first city, here are just a few of the things the typical tourist might encounter.
So I told George I'm tired of dragging his laundry down to the laundromat every week. We've just got to get a washer and dryer. Hold on. Bayview Resort.
This is Mrs. Altman. We stayed at Bayview last week, and now I can't find my blue sweater. Do you know if anybody there has seen it?
Hold on, I'll connect you with housekeeping.
Would you care for cocktails before dinner?
Yeah, but first, get rid of these flowers. They look like they've been here for a week.
Certainly, sir.
May I help you?
I've been waiting 20 minutes, please.
And I'm late.
Do you have a reservation? Usted reservation aquí.
Por supuesto que tengo reservaciones aquí. Fueron hechas por la mejor agencia de Buenos Aires. Esa carta lo certifica. Por favor, deme la llave de mi habitación, así me puedo retirar.
Look, mister, if you can't speak the language, don't come here. Find some other hotel to stay in. We're busy.
Young man, can you help me, please?
I can try.
Do you know what time the Wax Museum opens?
No, I don't know anything about that.
I know there's supposed to be a flower show around here somewhere. Do you know when it is? This kid knows nothing from nothing.
The lady said she wanted the wine chilled. Now, this stuff is room temperature. Now, take it away and do it right.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I'll call the cocktail waitress immediately.
My flight leaves in 15 minutes.
What do you mean stand by?
I have a connection in Denver.
They said I could pick up my ticket at the airport.
I don't want to have to change planes in Atlanta, man.
Hey, this is fragile. It's got to go on carry-on.
If you're so darn anxious to make your flight, why don't you get here on time?
Miss, this bill is wrong. There are all kinds of charges here that are not mine.
Hold on, I'll be right with you. Okay, thank you so much. Now, what's the problem?
This, for instance. What's this $96 marked T Pro?
That's the Tennis Pro Shop. Here.
Tennis racket, $35. Can of balls, $4. Tennis dress, $57. I don't even play tennis. And I certainly don't wear dresses. These charges are not mine, and I'm not going to pay for them.
Don't blame me, mister. I just work here. If the charges are on the bill, I gotta collect them. If you've got a complaint, go talk to the assistant manager.
But could I get him away from the TV long enough to go look at washers? Huh, no way. No, back in a sec. The bell captain is on his break right now. Call back later. Maybe there'll be somebody here who's seen your sweater.
Operator.
Hey, boy, look at that steak. The lady said medium rare. That steak's so raw, it's bleeding to death.
Let me tell you something. In the first place, I'm not a boy. And in the second place, I'm not impressed by your macho act. You want to be a hero, join the army. But in this restaurant, act like a gentleman.
I don't take that kind of lift from anybody.
Go home, cook your own dinner, and stop bothering decent people.
Come on, let's get out of here.
That's the way visitors are treated in our first city. But remember, this is a tale of two cities, and hospitality specialists act a lot differently in that second town. Let me show you some of the differences. And we might as well start with this situation right here. It illustrates a serious problem that affects a lot of us, the way we feel about ourselves and our jobs.
Get rid of these flowers. They look like they've been here for a week.
Is this guy getting to you?
He sure is.
And you're angry?
You better believe it.
Why?
He's putting me down. Trying to make me look like a bum so he can be a big man in front of his lady.
This stuff is room temperature. Now, take it away and do it right.
This clown boxed me one more time. I'm gonna take him apart.
Hey, boy, look at that steak.
Now, hold it. Think a minute. This one customer is giving you a hard time, right?
Yeah.
But you said yourself, he has problems too, trying to impress a girl who's young enough to be his daughter. So, why are you so sensitive? Could it be you're having a little self-respect problem? Maybe you think you don't have enough stature because you're not a doctor or a lawyer or the mayor.
Well, maybe not the mayor.
Look, you've been in this business long enough to know how important you are. By what you do, you can make a lot of people very happy or very unhappy. You can turn an expensive evening into a pleasure or a disaster for hundreds, even thousands of people during a year. And you also know that most of your customers are pretty decent people who sincerely appreciate good service. So, don't let this one customer spoil the entire day for you and everyone else in the restaurant. Hold on to your temper. Don't get defensive. Be a bigger man than he is.
This steak is so raw, it's bleeding to death.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. I'll take it right back and bring you another one, just the way the lady likes it.
Now that took guts. He deserves a medal. He'll never get it. He probably won't even get a tip. But he'll always know he handled a difficult situation like a professional, with self-restraint and the skill of a diplomat. Now here's another tough one. And there are a number of ways to handle it. Like this, for instance.
Bienvenido a la Florida, señor. Veo que tiene sus reservaciones confirmadas.
That's the best way. That guy will probably be managing this hotel before long. It's not easy to learn other languages, but a tremendous amount of our tourism business is from overseas, so it's a vital skill that's becoming very important for advancement. If your language lessons haven't yet made you fluent, there is another approach.
Pardon, señor. ¿Habla español?
Sí.
Un momento, por favor. Julio, would you step this way for a moment? This gentleman needs your assistance.
And now we come to the question of visitors' questions. Some of them can be unbelievable, but you've got to bear in mind that many of our visitors are total strangers to Florida, and our international visitors are quite literally in a foreign country. It's easy to feel lost and insecure. Like language problems, there are two ways to handle questions.
Now, let me see. On the weekdays, the Wax Museum opens at 10 and closes at 6. On the weekends, it stays open till 9. Now, of course, the flower show doesn't open until tomorrow.
That, of course, is the best way. But if you don't have all the answers, this is almost as good.
Gee, I'm afraid I don't know anything about the Wax Museum or the flower show. But we do keep a full supply of brochures in our office. I'm sure they'll have the information you need. May I show you?
Bayview Resort, good morning.
This is Mrs. Altman. We stayed at Bayview last week, and now I can't find my blue sweater. Do you know if anyone there has seen it?
Oh, that's a shame. Let's see if we can't find it for you. What room were you in, Mrs. Altman?
327.
3? 27.
In a way, this is one of the hardest problems we have to deal with. These young people are being terribly rude, but not intentionally. They're boisterous, enthusiastic, and not very experienced. So they just don't realize that they're being discourteous to the diners nearby. And if they don't know they're being impolite, how can they learn to be courteous? All of us have to stay alert, observing ourselves and others to see how our actions affect our guests. We have to make a conscious effort to improve our performance. Most important, we should be receptive to good advice. If someone knows a better way to do something, listen to him. No matter what your profession, it's one of the best ways to learn and progress.
Mrs. Altman, we have your sweater. One of the waitresses found it in the restaurant.
Oh, that's wonderful. It was a present from my grandson.
Oh, I'm so glad we found it for you. Now, if you'll give me your address, we'll mail it right off to you.
Miss, this bill is wrong. There are all kinds of charges here that are not mine.
Why, that's terrible, sir.
It is?
If you'll wait just 1 second while I finish with this gentleman, I'm sure we can straighten things out to your complete satisfaction.
You can? I mean, you will? Well, thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Yes?
Yes, I don't understand this charge.
And there you see the real magic of courtesy and hospitality. If you really care and show people that you care, most of the problems that make our lives difficult simply go away. They aren't problems anymore. And our workdays become much more pleasant, rewarding, and relaxing. And if we derive no other benefit from using good hosting techniques, that alone would make the effort worthwhile.
My flight leaves in 15 minutes.
How do you feel today?
Horrible.
What's the matter?
Everything. My little boy has a cold. He kept me up all night. And then this morning, my husband gets mad at me because the car has a flat tire. It's not my fault. Now I have this terrible headache.
Rough day, huh?
Oh, yeah. Real rough.
And now you have that mob out there to face. But you know, it's not their fault that things aren't going too well for you today, any more than it was your fault the car got a flat. They do have flights to catch and schedules to meet. As far as they're concerned, you're the airline. The way you handle their problems will probably determine whether they fly with you next time or go with someone else. So you won't let your personal problems get in the way of your job, will you?
No, I guess not.
Now get out there and knock 'em dead.
Come on, Tigers. I'm ready for you.
Hi, thank you so much for waiting.
Everything's in order.
What's the ending of our tale of two cities? Well, I can't say for certain because the story isn't over yet. But I do know that in the first city, things are going from bad to terrible. No matter how much they advertise their beaches and hotels, their golf courses and tennis resorts, the most important advertising of all, word of mouth, isn't working for them. Tourists are finding out that it's a very unfriendly city. No one smiles, no one helps, no one cares. The only hand a tourist ever sees is not a helping hand or the hand of friendship. It's a hand stretched out for a tip. So that city's tourism industry is dying. Hotels are closing. Airlines are cutting back on flights. Restaurants are going out of business, and jobs, good jobs, well-paying jobs, are being lost. But in the second city, tourism is booming. Last year, visitors went home raving about the place, its service, its hospitality, its friendliness. Visitors feel welcome there. They feel wanted and important. So they have a great time and they tell their friends about it. And this year, they're coming back again and bringing others with them. Everybody in the tourism profession is working hard, it's true, but working for a decent income in a job that's secure, that'll be there tomorrow. What's the difference between the two cities? Just one, really. You and me. Because both cities are the same city. Our city, our town, our village, our Florida. We make the difference. With a friendly smile, a bit of patience, an effort to put ourselves in the other guy's shoes, we turn our buildings and beaches and sunshine into a tourist's paradise. By what we do and the way we do it, we are responsible for the success of our industry and our own future income.
Excuse me, I have a plane to catch. Can you serve me in a hurry?
You certainly can, sir. I'm sorry you're leaving Florida, but if you'll just step this way, we'll see to it that your last meal here is both delicious and fat.